everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Cloud-Based Mayhem. Hope you're having a good spring if you're in the Northern Hemisphere. Before we get into today's show with Jakub Rott and the Czech hike and fly champion and many other things, great show for you coming. But before we get to it, just wanted to mention briefly that I just opened up registration for the now Nivik Red Rocks Wide Open. This will be our 5th edition, or maybe 6th, down in Monroe. We've moved it back later, a couple weeks this year, so it's right up. They're going to be back-to-back with the Global Rescue X Red Rocks, which is a hike and fly race that I run, 4-day hike and fly race that works like a stage race. It's kind of the only race that operates like that. Aaron Durgotti's won it a couple times, and we've had Patrick Von Cannell and Tanguy Renaud-Good and Marcus Anders and a whole bunch of others from the Pal Tackett's, a whole bunch of others from the Red Bull X Alps over the years. Jared Scheid, Sebring Warren, quite a few folks really got into the X Alps because of this race. So we've got the 3 different divisions: Challenge, Adventure, and Pro for that one, and the Nivik Red Rocks Wide Open, which is Race to Goal, US Nationals, Cat 2, pre-PWC. It's pretty mind-blowing terrain. We're known for really huge staffs and a great time of year with the colors just going off in south central Utah, surrounded by national parks and national monuments. So check it out. You can just Google either of those, you'll find it, or you'll find it on my website, or xredrocks.com, and you'll find all that stuff. And also the X Lost, this will be the 2nd edition of that. And it's at the end of May here in my backyard over in the Lost River Range over at King. That's kind of our base camp, and that's a 3-day hike and fly race, totally self-supported, kind of like a scavenger hunt, like the Wanaka hike and fly. And last year we had a blast. I actually got to race in that one because it's just doing it on your own. There's not a lot of organization. It's really low key, very relaxed. And again, the 3 different divisions: Challenge, Adventure, and Pro. And you can find out about that on xredrocks.com, or just reach out with any questions. All right, let's get to today's show. I had a frequent listener reach out from the Czech Republic a few months ago now at this point, Leah Nekasova, and I'm sure, Leah, I'm butchering your name. I apologize for that. But Leah runs the Moravian Hike and Fly Challenge in the I have to look this up, Beskidi Mountains, right on the border of Poland. I've never flown in this zone, so she recommended to get the winner from last year and this year's Czech hike and fly champion, Jakub Rott, on the show. He's got a very cool history with flying. Started by skydiving and then speed flying, and he's kind of done it all: tandems and instruction and hike and fly. He's flown all over the world. He's been flying for 10 or 11 years, as I remember. I recorded this one quite a while back, so it'll be fresh for me when I listen to it as well. But really interesting guy, a lot of fun to talk to. Got started way too fast and furious, had some hard knocks and hard lessons, and has calmed down quite a bit. But just great advice, great insights, articulates the sport really well. And this was a whole part of the world that I know very little about. So it was really cool to hear about what the flying is like there, and the launches and landings, and what the terrain is like. And I'm inspired. This is a place I want to get to after talking to Jakub. So enjoy. Cheers. Jakub, welcome to the Cloud-Based Mayhem. Appreciate you joining me there. We finally got our time change sorted out. Where are you in the Czech? Where are you in Czech Republic?
Czech Republic, actually. Hello, happy to be here, and I was jumping straight in. I'm in Pilsen, which is a beer of City of the Beer. Probably you heard about the Pilsner beer.
Yeah,
that's come from my home city, Excellent. Pilsen, which is like west south part of Czech Republic, close to German border.
I understand you're about 60 hours into a fast. What are you fasting for?
Good and deep question at the beginning. Actually, that was my second fast, and I was just like, I was thinking about it a couple of years to try, and before I just went to Kenya this year in January, I was like, okay, let's do it now, and I tried 36, and it was quite nice. And my aim is, obviously, I don't need to lose weight or whatever, but just to clean up, my body and find out how does it work, what's going on, and probably it's also nice for my training for the hike and fly long adventures and stuff like that.
Yeah, and that's why your friend reached out, because she runs this Moravian. Say it. What was it called?
Moravian Challenge, hike and fly Moravian Challenge.
Yeah, and she's done this 3. There's been 3 of these, correct? You won the last one.
Yeah. Actually, it's like last year it's become to be nationals of Czech Republic in hike and fly, and by some chance mistake, I managed to win this one, so that's how I get here.
So is the X Alps in your future or something like that, or what are you chasing hike and fly pretty hard?
I wouldn't say pretty hard. My goal in everything, not just hike and fly, paragliding, but in general in life, is to mostly enjoy. So I'm enjoying all the competition, and actually also for this hike and fly Moravian Challenge, I wasn't sure if I will go there because I had a different competition in Austria, X-Race, which was quite close to time, and I was like busy with my tandems in Austria as well. And just 2 weeks before they canceled the X Challenge in Austria, and I was like, okay, then I can go for the hike and fly Moravian Challenge. Why not? And so I look at the people there, and say, okay, let's do it. And I went there to enjoy the competition. And if I will like, okay, let's take this more deeply about the competition. If I look at the people who are in, like all the Xpeer and XALS pilot, like Thomas Matera, and there were Michal Radnický, the Polish guys, and Stanislav Mayer, which is one of the best Czech hike and fly athletes, who is also the XALPS. Yeah. I was like, okay, everything between 3rd and 7th place would be nice, and I will just go enjoy and see. And somehow it's happened that I managed to be first. So,
and tell me about this place. It's on the border of Poland. What are the name of the mountains?
Yeah, it's a Beskid Mountains. It's like, that's funny about the Czech Republic. We don't have a high mountains like Alps and all this stuff. We have just, let's say, small or bigger hills. And you have to learn to fly here. And we have a lot of good pilots, good competition pilots from Czech Republic. And sure. I would say that it's because we have to learn hard. We have to learn how to catch all the small bubbles and everything. And Beskid, I would say, is one of the best places in Czech Republic to fly. And we have also some like cross-country competitions there quite often. And these mountains are just on the border with Poland, with Poland Republic. And it's nice area, small hills. It's hard to fly because you are quite low, always close to the ground, catching some thermals, looking at the terrain. And it's interesting, and more interesting makes that the hike and fly Moravian Challenge is unsupported. So you go with this stuff, and that makes it special. How many days? It was last season. It was planned for 3 days, 250 kilometers flying.
Okay, cool. So it's a set course. It's like the X Alps. You start and you try to get to the end, and however long it takes.
Yeah,
Okay.
Exactly. The thing is, the track is planned just days before, so you cannot train for it, which is, in my opinion, good, because everyone are at the same level. And it was planned for 3 days, and me and Stanislav, we managed to do it in 2 days because the weather was quite good, I would say.
And how'd you beat Stanislav? He's great. He's solid. You just make a better move?
Good question. Let's say that I was lucky. No. It's,
we need luck.
It was. We started the competition the first day. We just, let's say, walk up Javorový hill, which is like, I don't know, 400 meters high difference to take off. And we were quite not in a rush because it was just starting the day, and we were known that we have to wait a little bit for the thermos. And Stanislav tried to take off first because he's pushing, he's a raceman, and he bombed out just like 100 meters below the takeoff because it was not working yet. So he climbed back just with the wing in his hand. And Then I think so Bicho Carrera were taking, Tomas Matera, Michal Radnický, Stanislav and me took off at the same time, and we were flying. The day was quite good. The first turn point was top landing. And funny, like, let's say 1 hour after I took off, on half or 3/4 of the way to the first turn point, I got on it was quite a brand new wing, I think so. I had like 15 hours on it. And I got something like, it wasn't a collapse, it was just a hard bump. I catch it, look it up, and one line was broken in the gallery, probably just some tension knot or something.
Yeah.
And I look at it and was like, fuck, okay, now I should go probably for some landing in the volley, but it flies okay. Let's see how it will work for the landing. So I continue flying with it and made it. And that time we were flying together with Stanislav, and Stanislav didn't catch some thermal and stay in the wall a little bit longer. So I managed to top land the next turn point, which was in the lee side of the wind and a bit of work. And some guy just helped me, and we used my line from what I was using to secure my phone, which was a tandem line, like quite thick, and we replaced the line from the gallery with this and just measured it by hand with the either side. It took me like, let's say 15 minutes, 10 minutes. And then I was able to continue, and we took off with the guys. It was quite strong wind, and the thermals were already broken. The next turn point was, let's say, 5-10 kilometers downwind, and then another 10 kilometers side crosswind, a little bit against. And when I turned the second turn point, I was already on a, let's say, third place, something like this. I see some guy in front of me, but he was quite low, so I was quite sure that I can beat him. And was playing with one guy beside me, Viktor Vášek, friend of mine. It's the best. All of us are friends in the air. I was just calling him midair, hey Victor, let's pushing a little bit more. We are flying a little bit crosswind against the wind. And Victor, I will keep my height, and then we got on the lee side of the next turn point hill, and Victor bumped out, and somehow I managed to climb back, got it, and landed close to the top, just back, run another like kilometer and a half. It was quite late in the evening, and I was like, okay, I am here first. I didn't suppose that. And then I took off again, continued jumping some other volleys and ridges. And in the evening, I look at the live tracking, and I was first like by 1 hour and a half or something. And I was like, okay, you came here to enjoy. Now you should probably start compete. But I was quite sure that Stanislav will catch me up the next day, because he's machine, in running, and he's good in flying and everything. But somehow I managed to keep, the next day we were running like, well, in total the day was like 50-55 Ks of running, a long day. And I was quite sure that Standa will catch me up, but I keep the distance. And from the last turn point, it was in Poland, on the Polish side of the border. It was like, let's say, 30 kilometers to fly back to the finish, and the wind was quite strong that day. And I managed to fly back, and then Stanislav was speeding up, and he landed just like 15 minutes after me in the finish. But
wow,
yeah, it's happened, and I didn't suppose that at all. So
is the course the same every year, regardless of the weather, or do they make it depending on the weather?
No. They make it depending on the weather, wind direction, and everything, to be able to manage the competition for at least, let's say, first half of the competition, or for a few people. And last year, I think so, 10 people finished from, let's say, 35. And I'm really looking forward for this year, because it's going to be, again, if you go big competition with your staff, sleeping in the nature, and let's say from all the hack and fly competition, what I did, this one were the one what I enjoy most, not just because I won, But because all the work what the organizer put in, like the live tracking, the live report from the each day, and it's quite nice prepared, and they put a lot of effort in it. So
And it sounds like a nice place to fly, and it's well set up for hike and fly. There's lots of places to top land and stuff. Is it quite cool how you connect all the moves?
yeah, I highly recommend everyone have a look at the website of X Moravian. You can find it quite easily, and or maybe you can put some link on it. And there are some videos from the last year. And if you have a time this year, you are more than welcome to join, because it's going to be.
I'll put all that
nice,
up in the
fun.
show notes. It's in June, yeah.
Let me see. I think so. It's in June, just after the Czech Nationals of the cross country.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ah, cool. And then you're saying it's you kind of bivvy. So what do you take with you? In the X Alps or even the X Pier, you've got a support team, so you don't really have. You don't take much. What are you taking in additional that you normally wouldn't on just a day of hike and fly?
Usually that was my second bivvy hike and fly competition. The first one was hike and fly Wanaka in New Zealand.
Uh-huh.
So you have to pack yourself as light as you can, and also depending, because I'm flying, like I have a wing, my ozone light is up to 95 kilos, and if I go normal flying, I'm like 93 kilos.
Yeah.
92, and
so you don't have a lot
if
of
I go,
room.
not really. So this time I was definitely over.
Yeah.
And so I took a light sleeping bag, sleeping pad, a little bit of the dried food you can buy, by the way, but you have to be overnight in the nature. You cannot go to the hotel or city or village or ask someone.
Cool. Oh, so you have
cannot
to
have a car. You have to be with it. That's rule of the competition.
Cool.
So
I love it.
Yeah. So you take as less as you can, but you are like heavy always if you go with stuff. So I had some water. The good thing is that you can buy water everywhere on the way or just refill from the stream.
Yeah.
And that's the most heavy thing. And I have some dried food with me, some bars to eat. And I just bought at the last turn point, the first day, I bought some quick dinner and some cake for the breakfast, which makes me very happy in the morning.
Yeah.
And
is this an area that has quite a bit of infrastructure? Like at the top of the mountains, are there huts or cabins?
Yeah. Like in Beskidia Mountains, I would say almost all of the mountains have some hut at the top, especially if there is a turn point. There is usually a hut or a small restaurant or whatever, and then you are running through the valleys where are all the villages and everything.
Okay, gotcha.
There is a bird thermaling. Come on.
Yeah, you're 60 hours into your fast. You're getting distracted easily.
Yeah. And look at the pilot. If you see a bird thermaling, you have to look up.
Yeah, 100%. Tell me about your business. This is what you do as a living, right? Paragliding?
Let's say last 4 years, I'm fully in a paragliding.
Okay.
And it's a question of nowadays if I like to be like full in paragliding, or if I like to start again some side business and have a paragliding just as a joy. Because if you just need to earn for yourself, it's quite easy. I'm flying a tandems over the summer in Austria.
Where in Austria?
And mostly Volcanoes, which is close to the Salzburg.
Okay.
You heard about a beautiful lake. And also spent some time last year, 2 years ago, in Chalomze, Werfenwang, but mostly like Salzburg area and all these Salzkammergut lakes and everything around, which is beautiful and interesting for tourists. And
are you big into distance? That's a nice place for big FAI triangles. That's a great zone for that, especially Zell and stuff. Is that your jam in the summer too, or are you mostly focused on the tandems?
That's the problem. If you do tandems, all the best days you have to walk, or you don't have to walk. But if you take a day off, it's quite expensive on your cost.
Yeah, sure.
And especially if it's a good day, if it's a rainy day, it doesn't matter. But
yeah, right.
yeah, and so I would say my best flights are usually done in the winter, somewhere about like this January I was smashing 300 triangle in Kenya, and before some big flights in Australia and Colombia. And in the Alps, I do fly mostly competitions and some shorter flights just to enjoy. And
were you down in Kenya with Andra?
Yeah, we met with Andra. By luck, I was just heading there and say, okay, Andra is there, so let's stay in contact and let's fly together.
Didn't he break the record or something, the out and back record this year?
Yeah. He did. He was there like, let's say, I think so 2 weeks before me. I came just for 2 weeks, and we fly together. It was nice because I learned something from him. He's really pushing on the speed bar, so that was a lesson for me how to be faster.
Yeah.
And I think so. It was like in a half of my holiday there. I was nearly smashing the record, which was 306 kilometers and let's say 600 meters. And I didn't focus on it, and I just smashed 306 kilometers and 300 meters. So I was missing the record by 300 meters. But that's what I said. I don't fly for. I fly for my pleasure, to enjoy.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I didn't focus how much is the record. I just fly there and say, okay, now it's enough. I fly back to make it, and I turn exactly the place that was probably I could make the 300 meters more, but the guy who was smashing another 5 kilometers, Polish guy, just missed the name. So he bumped out. He couldn't manage it back because always in Kenya is difficult to make it back in the scale valley. And actually, let's say 3 or 4 days before this, I had opened 315. And on the way back, my phone died because my power bank died. And it's my own, because I don't use even an external Vario. I fly just with a phone.
Oh, wow.
It's, I used to be doing this for last 4, 5, 6 years.
You don't have an XC Tracer or anything? You don't have any little...
No.
Oh,
but wow. I'm going to get one now.
Yeah. Oh, so you don't have a track log.
Yeah, I don't have a track log, and because I also lost my Vario at that time, I wasn't able to manage it back. I was just flying with... I switch on my watches, like hiking, and I was looking like 15 seconds delay on my watches. Okay, I'm going up. I feel it in my ass, so I'm still going up. Yeah, but that was a big day, and then so I managed the 306, which was for me over what I planned there. I was super happy with that.
That's a great flight.
Actually, it was the day before my birthday, and Andre stayed another 2 weeks, and then I think so a week after I was there, he smashed the record of the takeoff there.
Was that your first trip to Kenya, or is this kind of an annual thing?
No. It was for my first time in Kenya.
Oh, okay. What did you think? How was the flying?
Difficult.
Yeah. I always hear that it's quite windy, yeah, and it comes like the transitions are you don't have a lot of margin. It's really a ridge run, right? You're quite low to the ground all the time, and it's quite feisty.
Yeah, that's it. You get it. The thing is, you can take quite early in the morning, like 7:30, even 7:15.
Wow.
Which is very nice because there is the east wind coming to the ridge, which is quite strong. And in the morning, you take off and you fly like 40 kilometers to the south. All the time you are just playing with the speed bar, full speed bar or half speed bar. Sometimes you go no speed bar, but no turnings, no thermaling. You just push the speed bar and you fly very fast. And usually you fly like 100 meters over the ground level. Then turn, continue another, let's say, 100 kilometers to the other direction. And then you start thermaling, because then it starts to be until that time there is the ridge, and then you have to start flying like more alpine style, I would say. And in this part I was always a bit stronger, I would say. And at the beginning, and even in this north part, you are flying in a strong wind. Once I find myself flying like full speed bar behind the ridge, like on the bees, catching all the stuff, what came, and I wasn't moving really forward. And I was like, just, okay, now is the moment when I wish to be on the ground. But there were no place to land. There were like one small valley, and the wind will be probably over, let's say, 8 in the valley, I would say, and just a river and no place to land. So,
ooh. Yeah, this is what I've heard. It always sounds it sounds fun, but it also sounds a little dicey.
Yeah. You know, we were there with a group of my German friends, and they fly just in the morning since 7 o'clock till 11. Then they stopped, go for safari or just, enjoy a day. And then if the wind drops at 4 o'clock, they start flying again at 4 o'clock.
Oh,
That's the safe way how to do it, I would say. And you have to be strong to make it that, because, just to challenge it to yourself, not to fly for the record or whatever, just to enjoy. And I would say that's the way how to do it. And I was thinking a couple of times, because I'm doing now some like thermalic courses and everything, if I would take my students there. And so far I am on the edge, no or yes, because it could be really tricky. Like my very good friend who came with me, he crashed first day. And I'm happy that nothing serious happened, but he didn't fly for another 2 weeks because of his injury. Yeah. And in the mid of our trip, one French woman passed away, unfortunately, by some accident. And one of the Czech best pilots, Tomas Ledník, also passed away at this place. So
yeah,
you have to be focused when you fly there, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, there's pretty frequent bad accidents there, but it sounds awesome. I'd love to go someday. So you instruct as well. You have a school.
Yeah.
And is that in the Czech or is that in Austria?
No. It's in Czech Republic. In Austria, I just fly tandems commercially, and my school I'm running in Czech Republic. It's quite small, and I would say I probably will like to keep it that way, because I don't want to be fully in the paragliding, as I said at the beginning. As far as I have to earn money just for myself, I'm happy to do it. But as soon as I will get a family and I will feel that my family is depending on my paragliding business, I would be pushed too much in, and then you lose your hobby, probably.
How did you get into all this? How did you start?
Okay, let's jump into this. Since the very beginning, I have a very sportive family. So my mom and dad, they are both windsurfing and kitesurfing and all this stuff. So I was windsurfing, doing some competitions, and before I was just doing a small sailboats. Then I started kitesurfing. I became to be kitesurfing instructor when I was 15. I was teaching a bit in Germany and then in Australia when I was there.
Okay.
And then one day we were in a pub with a good friend of mine, and we get drunk a little bit, and then become the idea, okay, let's do something crazy. Let's start skydiving. So we find a local airport, local air club, and start skydiving. And after, I think that was second season of skydiving, we were quite pushing, let's say, first 2 seasons, like 100 jumps. And we were already looking at the speed flying videos and everything. And I was like, that time, a good friend of mine take me. There were no conditions for skydiving because low clouds. So he went paragliding and was just, hey, Jacob, would you try? And say, fuck yeah, why not? And he threw me up from the local ridge here in Pilsen. It was like 50 meters high difference over some nasty trees and everything. And I was like, wow, that flies. If you compare it to the parachute, it really flies. Really glide. I was like, wow, that's also, I should try it. So then with the friend where we start skydiving, we start paragliding.
What year was this? How long ago?
Oh, I think it's like 10 years ago, something like that. Not flying that long.
2015, 2016.
And and when I bought my first paraglider, I bought straight away first speed fly together. And at the beginning, I would say I was more speed flying than paragliding. And learning by doing, because there were some speed flyers in Czech Republic, but no one really making some community or anything. So I was learning the hard way of speed flying, but I was it it catch me a lot. So I was pushing and enjoying and having fun and traveling everywhere, like France. I met the guys from World Speed Flying Meeting and Francois Bon and all these level of stuff and everything.
Why do you think you were more drawn towards that end of the sport in the beginning? Was that because what your friends were doing or what you were seeing, or it was just the right fit?
Speed flying were more close to the skydiving, definitely, because I was already skydiving some small things. And I would say that time I was more ego man, more adrenaline guy than I am now. So I was like, okay, speed flying is the thing for me. And I was really enjoying to hiking up and flying down some different lines. And I did some crazy stuff what I wouldn't do again now, probably. And yeah, I was, even until now, I'm trying to name myself that I'm not a cross-country pilot. I'm more sleddy pilot still, but now no one trusts me already anymore.
Do you still speed fly quite a bit?
Yeah, I do, but let's say that the last couple of years I'm more in paragliding. I really enjoy speed flying. Last couple of years I was always just changing 8 square meter rapid air and 9 square meter. I was like, okay, what I go for now? And now the parakites came, so I have some parakites as well and got some dealership for parakites. So I spent some time flying parakites in Australia, dune flying and speed flying in New Zealand parakites. And yeah, I'm enjoying, but let's say that I'm getting be more relaxed and chilled and enjoying some cross country as well.
Has there been any bumps along the way? Any accidents or any kind of times where you've had to reflect and change how your approach?
Well, of course. At the beginning, actually, second or third year of my paragliding, it was paragliding. I broke my spine on a local hill here in Plzeň in Czech Republic. It was just, I was working hard for my father's company and I had full mind of some different stuff. And I was like, okay, I'm going to fly today, doesn't matter what. And I came to the takeoff. I had a new pod harness. It wasn't settled good. I was a little bit too much forward, pushing the risers, and grabbing them. And no one told me, don't grab the risers, you young man.
So this was real early. You were just learning paragliding then.
Yeah, I think so. It was my second year. And at the beginning, that's what I really, it was a shame for me. I had no one to come with him and who would tell me, hey, Jacob, fly this way, do this, don't do this. And
okay. You were just
I was just learning by doing. Yeah. I was in a school, definitely, but then I had no pilots who were be like way better than I do or something who would say me, hey, Jacob, this is the way how to thermal, this is the way how to settle your harness and everything. And that time I was still mostly speed flying. And so that time I get broken my spine, but yeah,
that was just right after takeoff. You were just taking off.
Yeah. I take off and the wind was too strong, and even the birds were walking and not flying, I would say, that day. And I get into the rotor and collapse like 2/3 of my wing, which was like very old B wing. And I had no reflex at the time to catch it, so I went straight to the ground. Straight legs, smashed, and part of my spine cord was pressed 100%. So I got some steel in my back. And it takes me like 3 months to be able to fly again. And my first flight was speed flying. So,
wow, was it hard to come back? Was it scary, or did it take a while to kind of get back into the groove?
Definitely, I did feel something. I was thinking when I was flying, okay, don't make a mistake again. Don't.
Yeah.
But it wasn't that hard. It was like, definitely I shouldn't fly that early. When I was going for my first takeoff, I still feel my back a lot when I was hiking up even. And I would say any like hard landing, I had still steel in my back at that time, so it would probably keep it. But that time I was young and ego was involved a lot, and I was flying because I was like, okay, I will do it. I will do it.
You're
But
quite
I like
young.
by it.
You're quite young now. I would imagine, 10 years ago.
Thank you.
That's, I didn't learn how to fly until I was in my mid 30s. I always think if I'd learned how to do this when I was a teenager or 18 or something, when I was really stupid, I don't know if I would have made it. I always think it's got to be trickier in some ways to learn this sport when you're young, when you just have a lot more, you feel more invincible than you do when you get older. Like you said, now you're kind of more calm and you've chilled out, and but I would imagine those early years when you're young they can be pretty scary. I mean, you probably don't even know they're scary, but I bet they're often tricky to navigate.
I am happy that I survived this year.
Yeah.
And let's say now I'm at a stage when I'm super happy even not to fly, because I'm flying like every season, let's say 200, 250 hours, and some of them just personal, some of them are tandems. And actually, I'm just really now, let's say, picky just to fly when I feel that I will 100% enjoy, that it will be some nice flight or some, nice weather or with good friends. Or whatever. And if I don't have to fly, or I don't have to fly, like before it was like every day, okay, I go fly now because it's flyable.
Yeah.
Now it's like, okay, I will enjoy some nice hike, and if it's not flyable, I go rather bike, or I will teach someone how to fly, or I will go bike or wing foil or kite surf or whatever. And now I'm super happy that I can pass my experience to my students. And I would say I'm even enjoying more to teaching someone than flying myself, or just showing someone fly tandems to give them the joy, because now I can pass my experience and they don't have to do the mistakes what I did. And it's very interesting for me at my courses. 2 weeks ago, when we get in contact, I was with my students in Norma in Italy. I had just 3 students, which was just brilliant, because I had the time for each of them to spend some time with them and to teach them what not to do, what to do, how to find the best thermals, where to fly, what for look. And because you got it already into your subconscious, you know what to do. But you can pass this experience to the people who don't know, and they will not catch all of it, definitely. But they will know, okay, now if I will sit too much in the front of my harness, I will start grabbing the risers, and then it's bad because I don't feel anything from the wing. And we did some training, sitting, moving the hands, like to make them easy. And I'm really enjoying that, because it's something what you can make the people fly better. And when you see how they're improving, it just makes me happy. And sometimes I was just on the ground, sometimes I was flying with them in the air. And yeah, that's what I like now.
Where you're from, to become an instructor, do you have to go through any kind of specialized training or certifications, or can you just become an instructor? How does it work?
In Czech Republic, we have quite good training for that. We have a Light Aircraft Association of Czech Republic, which works, I would say, very nice for all the pilots. Sometimes is there some blah, blah, blah on one side and blah, blah, blah on the other side, as everywhere. Like the pilots, are you not doing enough for us? But I would say they're doing a lot, and especially for this training in Czech Republic, you have to get first a sport pilot license, which takes at least 2 years of flying, and then you have to wait another year. So I think so it's at least 3 years to get to be able to join the course. And then you need some inspector who will say, okay, this guy is enough good to become an inspector, and you have to stand for yourself. Usually it's made that the people are in some paragliding school, and they like take them, okay, this is going to be our instructor, and we take care about him, and they sign for him. I did it a different way. I did it because I was thinking I would be working for one paragliding school, but it wouldn't work for me because of some business issue. So I was doing it all on myself, and the main inspector of the Czech Republic, actually quite, I would say, a good friend of mine, Hans Hayek, He's a brilliant guy. He is base jumper and he's older, I would say. He's like 60 now, I think so, or 55 or something like that. And he's a good guy. And was like, okay, Jacob, I will sign for yourself and you can go through like independently without a paragliding school. And you have to do like 2 weeks course with the Light Aircraft Associations. And then you have to do 2 weeks of the training with some different school. And then you become to be instructor. But usually you are still with the paragliding school, teaching with them, getting the instruction from them, learning how they do it. And I was again walking my own path in this and finding my own way. And I would say now I teach a bit different. The good thing for me is that for me it's still not like a main business. I have, even now I'm fully in paragliding, I have also paddleboarding school and some stuff other what to do. Said paragliding, I would say paddleboarding school, paddleboarding shop rentals. Sorry.
Yeah. What would you say? All these years of flying, and like you said, we all make a ton of mistakes early on. Now you're instructing. When you have students now that are coming, their first time, their eyes were wide open, they're super excited. What's kind of the most important thing that you feel that they need to learn right off the bat? What are you kind of constantly drilling in? What are the either the skills or the mindset or the approach that you think is really important?
I would say definitely the mindset and approach is way more important than the skill, because you don't have to be super skilled to fly safe and to enjoy. And why we fly to enjoy, or we should fly to enjoy.
We should.
I would say maybe most of the pilots, in my opinion, flies for some goal, to beat this record, to be first in the competition, to show that I am the paraglider and show my friends that I am the one who flies. But the goal is to enjoy. So I'm trying to teach my students how to get into it, to be enjoying, to don't, some of them are really pushing, some of them are a little bit slower. And it's a lot of psychology. And my main goal is to teach them how to get paragliding into your subconscious. Because that's my favorite theory, I would say, and I'm always saying to my students, if you were first time driving a car, you were driving 100% consciously. Put the first gear, push the clutch, releasing the clutch, put your gas, and everything. And now when you drive a car, you drive totally subconsciously, and you speaking to your co-driver, hey, how was your lunch and whatever. And then a little kid jump into the street. And who pushed the brake? It's not your conscience, it's your subconscious, which is way faster and way stronger. And that's what all my students need to learn, how to drive, how to steer the wing, how to fly the wing without focusing on it, just to get it. And there are no shortcuts,
Yeah.
Another beautiful example is if you have a ball and you give it to the 5 years, you will throw it and say 5 years old guy, hey, grab it. He will probably grab it. But if you have 5 scientists and say, okay, this is the ball, I'm throwing the ball this direction, this power, in this viscosity of the air, and blah, 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 count where the ball will be, where should be the hand of the young man. They will spend hours to counting, because the conscience is not that fast, not that strong, and it's the subconscious. And there are no shortcuts. You have to be just flying. You can be talented, definitely. You can be untalented. It depends. But if you go and learn slowly, step by step, not pushing on yourself and just enjoying, that will make you fly way, way better and mostly safer than if you consciously pushing on something.
What do you love about this sport the most? You speed fly, you spend some time skydiving, you instruct, you fly XC, you do hike and fly. When you're just sitting here right now, what's the thing that pops up that has you most excited about? What keeps you chasing it?
the best that I can always change.
Yeah.
I really love the freedom of the paragliding. I really love the touch with the nature. I love the community around the paragliding, which is just great all around. If we speaking, I met the best people during the paragliding, like Australia, Colombia, everywhere around the world. You met the paragliding people are just the best. So I would say, once when I get tired by flying cross country, I'm super happy to go speed flying or to fly tandems and just to show the people how beautiful it is to be in the air or teach my students and everything. I would say last years I said I'm pulling myself out of the speed flying or out of the, let's say, danger speed flying, some proximity. And man, I did like crazy stuff. I was speed flying 8 square meters tandem.
Whoa. Oh, shit.
Yeah,
I didn't know that was a thing.
It was part of the Oludenitz Air Games show.
Oh,
you know that? Yeah. I was there a couple of years, like as a part of the show team. Beautiful place, beautiful people to meet, and with a friend of mine, base jumper, we just settle a rig. We were taking off 3 people on a big tandem. Then we throw my 8 square meter wing during the flight.
Wow.
And cut away into it, then speed fly, and then my passenger cut away and opened the base rig.
Wow, cool.
I think so. Maybe we were the first who done it. Probably the smallest tandem flew ever that time. Then the other people start to joining, and every year there is something new. And it was nice. It was safe. We were like 4 hours preparing this rigging and everything. And if something will not open or something will open or whatever, And the problem was that when we jump into the speed fly, one trimmer open. And then it started turning to the sea. And before I was just, okay, I need to slow down this part, close it with the other hand, then grab the seas, turn back to the beach, and we were too far to make it back to the beach, so we were both waterlanded.
About doing it over the water.
Yeah. But it was fun, and we survived.
Then worthy. Okay, so you've mentioned Australia, Kenya, Austria, Czech Republic, of course, Turkey. Now, all the places you've flown in the world, what's your favorite? What do you get? What's the best place you've flown and why?
I didn't prepare for such a difficult question, even.
I know. This one's impossible. You can think about it. Yeah. We could edit this silence out, but yeah, what just comes to mind as a place?
I was flying bit of the world. I was flying the Volcanoes in Canarian Islands and the waterfalls in New Zealand and the flatlands in Australia and pyramids in Mexico and all these beautiful places. And I would say so far for paragliding, I really love the Dolomites still in the Alps. It's it's very beautiful here. And for some dune flying, I really like Rainbow Beach at the Australia. It's the place to be.
Yeah, that's a nice spot.
Yeah, the nature, let's say that the best nature is New Zealand, definitely. And I can remember digging deep into the Skipper Valley, like hiking through the river 8 hours somewhere lost in New Zealand. That was a beautiful experience. And yeah, hard to choose one. Very hard to choose one.
Yeah. Did you bivvy New Zealand?
Yes, I said we had a hike and fly Wanaka competition, which is a bivvy competition.
That's Kinga's deal, right?
You can have a support, but if you go for a long flight in New Zealand, you have to be bivvy always.
Yeah.
And the first day I was like, that was funny. That was like, there were a map of live taking all the competitors, and everyone were like around the Wanaka and around the Queenstown, and then Jacob far everywhere from in the middle of nothing. And I landed in the Skipper's Valley, and I was like, I think so 2 hours hiking by the river the first day because there were no other way, no check, nothing. The bush was too hard to go through and too painful. And then the next day I just found out that I cannot cross the shoot over saddle, what I was aiming for. So I had to turn and go back by the same river to find some hill to take off again and fly back to the Queenstown. Beautiful nature experience.
Yeah, that's South Island's pretty magnificent. That would be a fun place. I've spent a lot of time in New Zealand. I've done a ton of sailing down there, and my dad lived there on the North Island, but that was all pre my flying years. It was a long time ago. So I'd love to go back and participate in some of the cool stuff that's going on down there. That's Kinga's race, right? The Wanaka Hike and Fly?
Again?
That's Kinga's race, isn't it?
Yeah. That's Kinga's race. Yeah. Beautiful competition, beautiful.
And that one that's more of a scavenger hunt, correct? Like you go out, it's kind of like a scavenger hunt. You go out and you tag as many places as you can.
Yeah. That was my first competitions of this, let's say, settle, or how was it made? And you have to choose your 3 points, and as further the 3 point is, then you get more points.
Yeah.
So I was aiming for the one which were most far, and yeah, that's how I get where I get.
I have one that I run here called the Niviak X Lost in the Lost River Range, which is just the next range over from where I live in Haley in Idaho. And I based it kind of off how she does it. It's a scavenger hunt. So the waypoints that are close to where we start are not worth very much, and then they get worth more and more and more as you go away. But you have to get back. If you don't make it back, then you lose 50% of your points. So we try to not have a lot of retrieve and stuff. That's super fun. And because it's mellow, I was able to race too, even though I'm organizing it and meet directing it and stuff. So it's really fun for me as well. But it's a cool concept. It's a great way to go out into the outdoors and just there's lots of strategy when it's like that, because you got to get home.
You got it. That's it. And that would be something what I like to focus also as Kinga do. I like to focus now a little bit more when I teach for some small groups of the people, and I would be super happy just to be teaching even some, like, let's say, bivy stuff or more hike and fly stuff, to be really focused with some small group or one by one, but it's always a problem of the money. Just to teach someone how to fly better, how to find forward look. And as I said, now I'm focusing on some thermalink courses and stuff like that. And I'm really trying to approach it a different way, like to spend with the people, to be really with them. And I'm super happy. The problem for me in this is when I start teaching something like that, I'm full in and I cannot stop myself. And I'm giving, I would say, even a little too much to the people, because then I'm starting to feel, okay, for the day of the course, and I'm quite low on my energy already. But I cannot help myself. If I see that I can help them to fly better, I do it because I enjoy it.
Well, we'll have... in the show notes, we'll have links to your school and the Moravian hike and fly race in June. So we'll put all that in the show notes up. But before I let you go, one last question. If you could, you've maybe already answered this. I'm assuming you'd say maybe go slower or something, but maybe come up with something new here on the spot. But if you could rewind to your 50-hour self, and you can, whatever, that could be skydiving, that could be speed flying. You pick the 50-hour with whatever sport or iteration of this sport you want. But if you could go back to that person 10 years ago or so, what would you tell them? What would today's Jakub tell that day's Jakub?
I would say definitely, hey, young man, be focused more on a small thing. Don't push that much. Because I was pushing quite hard, and it probably helped me to get to the place where I am when I was pushing on the hike and fly competition and all of these stuff at PLP tour and everything. It helped me to get where I am, definitely. But now when I look back, I'm okay, if you wouldn't push that much, maybe you will enjoy a little bit more. You definitely wouldn't be at the place where you are now. You would be probably missing 1 year or something. But you would enjoy a little bit more, and try to be more relaxed about everything. And that's what I'm aiming for now. I'm just aiming to enjoy the paragliding, and why I'm joining the competition is not for reason to win something or whatever. I'm just joining to enjoy, and that's the beauty for the paragliding. And I would say it's my goal, and I would say the same to my 10 years old.
Sounds like great. Sounds like great advice. Sounds like great advice.
And I would say the same for all the pilots, because I would say pilots are pushing too much and flying a lot with the egos and everything. Guys, just enjoy and be.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is universal good advice. It's hard to do in the moment, isn't it? Yeah, I'm the same way. I mean, I luckily, maybe sounds like more than you. I had people around me who were much better, who were, definitely trying to rein me in. They slow down, not so fast. You're going to kill yourself. But it's hard to live that when you're hearing it. You're just so excited and you want it so bad and you want to get good so fast. And, I also wouldn't be where I am if I didn't press so hard. But yeah, man, you then have to rely on luck, which isn't very reliable.
That's it. You say it.
Yeah. Jacob, your pleasure, man. I appreciate it. I appreciate your friend reaching out and recommending I talk to you. This was a lot of fun. I appreciate it. And good luck in the race in June if you do it. And yeah, man, stay in touch.
Thank you so much for having me. And Gavin, it was my pleasure. And yeah, see you in the air, guys.
If you find the Cloud-Based Mayhem valuable, you can support it in a lot of different ways. All of them incredibly important to keep this show going. You can give us a rating on whatever platform you listen to. You can blog about it on your website or share it on social media. You can talk about it on the way up to launch with your friends. I know a lot of good conversations have happened that way, and of course, you can support the show financially. The show does take a lot of time, a lot of editing, storage, music, behind-the-scenes cost, and all we've ever asked for is $1 a show. We put out a show every 2 weeks, so if you gave us $1 a show, that's $25 a year. Quite a bit less than a magazine subscription and way less than a latte a month. You'll notice we don't have 10 minutes of advertising at the top of the show, which we get asked to do all the time, believe me. I believe advertising is a pretty toxic business model, and I want you, the listener, to know that these conversations are just authentic people giving their opinions, and we aren't being swayed by brands. But that means we rely on you, our listener. If and only if you can support the show and it doesn't hurt your pocketbook, we'd really appreciate it. Go to the website to find various ways to support the show through Patreon or other platforms where we've gone through great lengths to minimize fees so your money gets directly to us. Becoming a subscriber gives you access to all kinds of bonus information, little nuggets that don't make it into the podcast, extra content, our Ask Me Anything shows, and a lot more. We don't put anything behind a paywall and never will. If you can't afford to support the show, just send me an email and I'll set you up with an account, no questions asked. Hopefully someday you'll be in a position where you can. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for your support. We'll see you at Cloud Base.